We've got good things to talk about today. We have got good things to talk about today. I am excited. I have created a chart. Good morning. I have created the matrix. Inside the matrix is what I should have called this live, because we are going inside the matrix to learn more about the things that are holding us apart and or together. So good morning, Balix. Good morning, Justin. Good morning. Good morning. We've got good lessons to talk about today, this morning, as I get ready to as I'm getting ready to do my podcast. Hi, Yana. Good morning. We are talking about what it looks like inside the matrix. You guys, I created a graphic just for you all. I have created a graphic to be able to better describe why the world is upside down. The world is upside down, and this is the reason why. This is why I created this by myself through years of observations and studies. Hi, Beverly. And it is going to show you all why the world. Hi, Alyssa, and Goddess, why the world is upside down. And it is because of the patriarchy, capitalism, corporate America, racism, and you can't see it at the end, but religion is at the end. These are the systems that keep us in an inverted way of living. It's very weird. Hi, Queen of the Pack. It's very weird the way that we have to live our lives. It's unnatural. And it is because of these things. And so, as we look at this beautiful diagram that I have created that I am so proud of, um, it shows at the top are the top are the people who are at the top of these hierarchies, and then the people at the bottom are the people who are kind of like the foundation of these systems. We got queer people, Latino people, lower class people, individual contributors, Black people, and then at the end are like people in the congregation. These people at the bottom of these hierarchies are the people who keep the systems going. Like when I say keep the systems, okay, the people at the top are the people who are in charge of creating the system. So the patriarchy, you got your traditional men. Capitalism, you have billionaires. Corporate America, you have your board members and your shareholders. Racism, obviously, is white people. And then at the top, I'm so sad you can't see it, but over here is religion. And at the top of religion is like your pastors and your prophets. And so the people at the top are the people who create these systems and are the people who have the most power within these systems. And the reason why these systems exist, hello, everybody, we're talking about this is the matrix. We are inside the matrix, and we're talking about how the matrix is, where it is, and how it exists. And so the people at the top of the matrix are the people who are in control. The second layer of the matrix are the people with the most, I would say the most influence. The people, this second layer is extremely important. This is where you have your women. In the patriarchy, the second layer is women. In capitalism, the second layer are your millionaires or your business owners. In corporate America, your second layer is your CEOs or your C-suites. And within the racism hierarchy, it's Asian people. And then within religion, which you can't see, it's over there. Within the religion, it's like your pastors and your first family and things like that. So these are the hierarchies that are keeping all of us oppressed, essentially. But the first layer is like, those are the people who, it's very obvious. Like, your billionaires are the people in the background. Those are the people who are in control. Those are the people who make all the rules. Your Peter Thiels, your Elon Musks, all of those folks. But the people in the second layer, I always say, are actually the most important, because those are the people who make it look like the system doesn't exist. The people who are in the second layer are the people who, like, if it was just the elites versus essentially like everyone else, then everyone else will be like, this is a scam. The jig is up. What are you guys doing? But when you have this layer of people who are successful in these systems, it allows people to be like, no, there is no system. It's just, you got to work harder. It's just hard work will get you to where you need to go. Hi, Rabbit. And so that's like this is like for the patriarchy, we all know that men are in charge and men are on top. Hi, number one, hail. But when you look at, there are successful women, right, underneath the patriarchy, even though these women are usually like straight, these women are like feminine presenting. These are just like regular women. But they are successful in the patriarchy. And so it makes it seem like, oh, the patriarchy doesn't exist. Look at these successful women. Same thing with like capitalism. We all know it's super hard to become a billionaire, but there are millionaires that exist and they're self-made millionaires. So it's just like, oh, capitalism is a good structure because look, you too can make it, even though you can't see my percentages over here, but this is essentially the top 10% is the top two layers, and then the 90% is at the bottom. But because there is this 9% who made it, it makes you feel like, oh, I can make it too. It's like, it's not a system. It's all about work ethic and hard work, but it's all a scam. It's all a scam. It's all a scam, y'all. Who is that? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I worked really hard on it. I have a whole video on YouTube that goes into depth with each of these systems and how they kind of like work together to exploit all of us. But yeah, it's just like I always say that these are all narcissistic systems, and people always like wonder, why does the bad guy win, or why does the bad guy get all this money, like Elon Musk and Trump? So why are they the people who are in charge, and why do they have the most money? And it's because these are narcissistic systems. These systems are created as like systems of control. They are created in order to keep us all like separated from one another, afraid of one another, and keep us in competition with one another. Because even though if you're in this bottom 90%, you're always going to feel like, if I work hard enough, I can get into this top 10%, even though you really can't. It's like, I always say, it's like the Squid Games. 600 people go in, but 599 people are not going to make it. What would your solution be to this? Y'all, okay, so for dismantling hierarchies, so first thing is to ensure that everyone knows that they exist. The first problem is, like, when it comes to stuff like racism, this column over here, most people in this column, and the people, and it's really upsetting because the people who benefit from these systems the most are usually the people who feel like these systems don't exist. They like, oh, like, they don't realize that they're benefiting from a system, so they're just like, oh no, this is just how things are. Like, I just did what I was supposed to do. Like, you too have to do what you're supposed to do, and you too will have all these things. I respectfully disagree. High earners typically have a higher education and in a in-demand industry. Yeah, okay, I have that. I have upper working class people, doctors, lawyers, engineers here, but they are still not millionaires typically. Millionaires are typically your business owners, and but the thing is, like, in a capital system, business owners are not. The thing is that people feel like, oh, if you be an entrepreneur and you create your own business, you'll become this millionaire. One, that's very unlikely to happen. Like, I think it's like only 1 in every 5 businesses that start actually go on to become successful businesses. And then 2, the way that capitalism is structured, capitalism doesn't incentivize innovation. It incentivizes figuring out ways to make money. And so people copy people all the time. People steal from people all the time. People find loopholes all the time. Like, the most money that corporate America makes is not from selling their profits. It's from cutting corners. It's from not paying taxes. It's from doing things like that. Like, capitalism incentivizes making money. It does not incentivize creating good products that are helpful for people. So access to higher education can still be seen as system. Boom, exactly. And then that's what I'm saying. It's just like, oh, people who have access to higher education, but like, poverty begets poverty begets poverty. Like, if you were born in a lower class system, like my parents were born, were poor. All right, I come from a long line of enslaved / sharecropping / poor Black people, and I ended up going to college, sure, but I'm 1 out of 4 of my siblings who ended up going to college and actually graduating. Like, systemic oppression is real. Like, if you don't have parents who went to college, getting into college is hard. Well, first of all, if you don't have parents who went to college, getting the grades you need coming out of high school is difficult because you didn't have parents at home teaching you how all this extra stuff. The logistics of getting into college is hard if you don't have parents who went to college. And then once you get into college, understanding how to navigate that system, like from a political standpoint, from an organizational standpoint, all that is hard because you didn't have someone in your life teaching you how to do these things early on. And then once you graduate from college, getting a job, a well-paying job, is also difficult because if you got like a teaching degree, teaching doesn't pay well. We have teachers down here in this second to last column, because you can have a degree that does a good job that contributes to society and still not make a lot of money and still be an impoverished person. And so it shouldn't be that everyone has to go to school to be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer if they want to make a livable wage. Like, we should be able to have careers that are like the ones down here, essential workers, like people who drive our buses, sanitation workers, people who stock our grocery shelves, people who do cashiers. Those are essential jobs that this world would not be able to run without, yet we pay them the least amount of money. Like, why is it that I can hate doing, I can hate being a doctor, but I would love to be a teacher. But I am incentivized in this capitalist system to go be a doctor, even though I want to be a teacher, because I need to ensure that I can make a living. Like, you don't feel like that's a messed up system? You don't feel like that's a messed up system? Like, yeah, this is my chart. I made it myself. And if you go to Bri Speaks on YouTube, I did a whole video where I break down like all of these columns and how they all are systems of control, and how the second layer, I highlight the second layer. The second layer is the most important layer for making people feel like they like making people feel like the system doesn't exist. At what is Bri Speaks? It's the same thing as my TikTok. Bri Speaks on YouTube. You can find I did a podcast on this. I call it's the Matrix. This is the Matrix. I call the name of the video is called Inside the Matrix, because this is the Matrix. This is what keeps people asleep. This is what keeps people under mind control. Like, you can't see it in here, but religion is the last column over here, and it is one of the biggest methods of mind control. If you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Judaic person, you're probably not going to be comfortable here. But I encourage you to stay anyways, because it is good. It'll be good for you to understand a different perspective as to how religion sets us all up for failure. Yes, it's a messed up system. It's not normal. We need and to envision a better world, certainly. And so patriarchy, the whole point of patriarchy is to keep people in like gender roles and gender binaries. It puts queer people at the bottom, because you break the system. You're not supposed to exist. And but how do we change that? And so I don't know. So my biggest thing is like, all these systems, one, they're narcissistic systems, and people, they run on lies. Like, they are a person or people who made up this thing and said this thing is true, and then they recruited people. It's also I always tell us it's an MLM, because you recruit people from the top to the next layer to believe in your lies, and then once those people at the second layer believe in your lies, they tell the people at the next layer of people, like, hey, believe in these lies, and then, hey, you believe in these lies. And so that's how like the pyramid gets bigger and bigger and bigger at the bottom, but the power, like, it disintegrates the further you go down the pyramid. And so the biggest thing is really awareness, which is what I'm here for, is to get people to understand that these are lies. If you can get everyone to understand that these are lies, then that is the first step to like fixing everything, is to just get everyone on the same page that these are lies. These are not truths. Like, people tell my comments all the time saying like, oh, capitalism is the best system in the world. But I'm just like, no, capitalism, first of all, is a very young economic system within, the last 7,000 years. But before that, most indigenous people didn't believe in land ownership. Most indigenous people didn't believe you could own land. It was earth was a communal resource that we all use together, that we all work together to work together. Like, it's like that is it. Like, people don't understand that we don't even have to live in a world with money. We can just work together. Like, and I know, again, the capitalist mindset has been so pervasive around the entire globe that people can't even imagine a world where we go back to not having currency and just actually depending on one another. But I'm like, that's my goal, is to have a society where people can just depend on one another. But it will also take people to get back to like understanding their intuition, because that's the way narcissistic systems thrive, is if their intuition, like, if you have your intuition and a narcissist tells you like, no, like, I don't know why you feel like you can't trust me, I'm a good person, or like, no, like, I know this feels, I don't know why you say this feels wrong, it's the right way to go, and you believe that and you don't trust your gut, like, that's how these systems win, is when people don't believe in what they feel. So like, that's if we can get everyone to understand who they are, understand their intuition, and be able to see BS and be able to trust themselves to believe that this is BS when they see it, instead of like, oh, okay, sure, let's just go with it, then they'll win. What do you mean? Yes, what do you mean? That's your dirt, not the earth's dirt. Exactly. Because like, why? How could you ever feel like something that you didn't create? Like, even the things you create. Because I'm like, I want to say, how can you believe that something that you didn't create is yours, i.e. the trees, i.e. the grass, i.e. the land that we're standing on? But I'm like, no, because then even that mentality will make people feel like, oh, well, I created my child, so my child belongs to me. And it's like, in a way, your child No, your child doesn't belong. No human can belong to another human. You can be responsible for caring for a human, for a child, human child, but that's a problem I have with people, especially, and again, narcissistic parents in general. Is like parents want their children to be their mini me's, or like to be, oh, this is, this my it's my mini me. It's like, no, your child is an individual human being, distinct from you, who has their own life, their own thoughts, their own feelings, and you should allow them to figure out what that is and who they are on their own. Because when you say this is my mini me, and then they grow up and doesn't want to do exactly what you want to do or want them to do or expect them to do, then now you're disappointed. And now you're going to be mad at that child and be resentful to that child because they didn't become what you thought they were going to be. You like, once you set expectations for anything, you are setting yourself up to be disappointed, because like you should just go into everything with no expectations, and then that's how you'll live a very happy life. What is it you want? What is the perfect system? All right, y'all, this is gonna sound a little crazy, but the perfect system for me is one. It's just like, okay, it truly is a world where people don't, like, where everyone knows the truth and no one believes in lies. And I know that sounds like, but like, I think that is the first, like, that's the first foundation, because all these things will keep cropping up if people don't resonate at the same frequency, if that makes sense. Like, when you say like, oh, I vibe with this person, or this person matches my energy, that is like, you all are like resonating at the same frequency, so you understand each other very well. And so if someone does something that is out of the ordinary or weird or strange, like, you can pick up on it because you all are typically resonating at the same frequency. Like, if you're tuning in on a radio, like, if you got to be at a certain radio frequency in order to hear the music, and then another person somewhere else has to be at the same frequency to hear the same music, like, that is how people work. People work where we if we can all resonate at the same frequency. And that's the thing, these systems are literally makes us be at different frequencies so that we can't hear and talk and understand each other. And so if we could get everyone to resonate at the same frequency, then people who are at a different frequency, i.e. like narcissists or evil people, we as a community, as a collective, can be like, that's weird, or I don't like him, you don't like him, we don't like him, and then we can ostracize them from humanity. Like, that would, so like, a perfect system would be everybody being so in tune with themselves and each other that there really is no questions about what is right and what is wrong, and what should be and what shouldn't be. And then another thing I really would enjoy is, when it comes to like the justice system, I really feel like the justice system should be more communal. If that's match up your ancestry to where your family fit and mindset. Okay, I don't know what that is. But what is the truth, and how does it give us all good and goods, water, and shelter? So the truth is, that's the thing. It's like, what is the truth? The truth is everyone living at their, I don't know, living as their most authentic selves. Like, that is the truth to me. And I feel like right now everyone has to live in this performative way in order to get money. And so if we could make a world where everyone could get their basic needs met, food, water, clothing, shelter, and community. Those are I have a criteria of 5 things that all humans need, and it's food, water, shelter, community, and exercise. Those are the 5 things everyone needs in order to live and be healthy. If we could get everyone those 5 things, then people will no longer need to be performative, people won't need to do weird stuff in order to get their basic needs met. Because when you have to do weird stuff to get your basic needs met, you become a different person. Like whenever I have to, like, this is me in my most authentic self, but then I go to work at a corporate America setting, right, where I have to be performative. I have to play politics. I have to do, oh, hi, good trouble politics. Thank you for coming. This is my new diagram that I have created. I did my whiteboard version a few videos ago. I made it to a PDF. But so people are asking me, what is my my perfect world? Yeah, diagram. We love diagrams. And so I'm talking through that right now. And so my perfect world is one where everyone resonates at the same frequency. And then how do you get people to do that? You get people to do that by everyone being their most authentic self. because when you're your authentic self, you can hear your intuition better. Whenever you have to fake and perform and act and do all these things in order to get approval from other people, and those people are in control of your resources, your access to resources, you will perform. You will do what you will perform. But when you perform, you lose yourself. You lose touch with who you are. And so I was saying, when I'm in corporate America, I have to hi, my name is Bri. How are you? Oh my God, Caitlin, it's so good to see you. Like I have to put on this performance. I put on this show. I have to give all this extra energy. I have to tick up my voice a little bit. I have to always be thinking. Like I can't say, oh, yeah, I just dropped 10 stacks or 10 racks. I have to say, yes, that'll be $10,000 if you sign this contract with us. It'll be a wonderful business deal. Like I have to essentially live in a lie in order to get money. Like literally be a robot. I have to become you have to work constantly for 8 hours a day without breaks. Like if you get a break, you know that your break is timed. You cannot literally, the way the world is set up right now, you cannot flow in alignment with who you are as a person. You have to flow in alignment with the corporation that you work for, or you have to be in alignment with the job that you work for. And people don't realize how much that takes away from your ability to understand who you are as an individual, who you are as a person authentically as yourself. Like it's so hard to figure out who you are if you have to, right, expel so much energy on being someone else, y'all. Like, y'all don't understand. Even putting on this performance for Instagram, or like even for TikTok, not really. I love TikTok because TikTok really does promote authenticity. But like when I was on Instagram much more often, it was I had to be performative in all of my posts. I had to like have all of this like editing. I could never in my million years go on Instagram and be doing my makeup, because you have to already be made up on Instagram. You cannot go on Instagram and show yourself as a raw and authentic person. And so that in and of itself, like you begin to slowly but surely morph into being someone else. And when you morph into being someone else to get money, to get resources, because that's why you're doing it, to get social status, then you can't be yourself, and you lose touch with who you are. And once you lose touch with who you are, it is much more it's harder for you to identify who else in the world is being authentic versus who else in the world is being a performer. If everyone's a performer, I don't know who's performing and who's not, because I'm a performer too. So it's just like, so because again, the world, y'all just, all right, walk with me. The world that you are in, the way you perceive the world is a reflection of how the external world is a reflection of your internal world. So if I think that if I'm performing and I know I'm performing, now I think that everyone else is performing. If I am insecure, or like if I'm insecure and I'm like bashing other people because it makes me feel better, I'm going to assume that everyone else is insecure and everyone else is talking bad about me because it makes me feel better, because it makes them feel better. Like if I feel like I get my validation from having money and I don't know, women or good cars, then I'm going to assume that everyone else gets their validation from having money and cars and stuff like that. So we have created a world where people are told that your value comes from these external resources. And so your value, so that's what people think. They internalize that. And so now they're looking for external validation from all these external things. And that doesn't allow them to learn who they are, what they like, what they want, and then they can use so you lose sight of yourself. You don't know what you want. You know what everyone else tells you should have. You don't know what you like. You know what everyone else says that you should like, and so you go for those things, and you lose sight of who you are. And once you lose sight of who you are, like I said, you don't navigate in a world in a way of like everyone else is living their authentic selves. You navigate in a world of like everyone else is playing this game so that they can get all the external resources, just like I'm doing. And that is such an unhealthy way of living. And if everyone lives that way, then everyone is going to be essentially assuming the worst in one another. And then we live in a world. Then you create a world full of fear. You create a world full of I don't I'm like, when I meet a person, I'm assuming they have negative intentions because I myself may not have completely pure positive intentions. So it's just like, and that's how you get vulnerable people and not vulnerable people, because then the people who are most vulnerable are the people who are showing up authentic, showing up as themselves, showing up with a pure and good heart, assuming the best in everyone, because you want people to assume the best in you, and then you get taken advantage of as a good person because the people who are evil are being evil, and they're like, oh, you're an easy target. And that's how children are the most preyed upon people in the world. Okay, let me look at these comments. Sorry, I was on my box. Your assumption is that people are the same. We're born with different skills, personalities, and brains. No, yeah, my assumption is actually that everyone is different. My baseline is that everyone is different, but we need to learn to accept everyone's differences as they come and as they are, and not judge them. But these systems make it so that everyone has to be in the, you have to, if you want to get at the top of these systems, you have to be a traditional man. You have to be a traditional woman. You have to get money and be a billionaire. You have to be a business owner. You have to want to be a CEO. You have to want to be a board member or a shareholder. You have to want to aspire to whiteness, or like white culture, or like white beauty standards, or Asian beauty standards, in order to be beautiful. All the systems assume that we, like, no, the system doesn't allow us to be different. That's the thing. These systems, they force us to, they incentivize us to be these things at the top. And so because these things at the top are rewarded, they are rewarded with money, power, resources, and social status. So my thing is, I know we are all different, and I hate all of these systems because it doesn't allow someone who is queer, a working class person, Black, and this is a member of a congregation, which again, the religion side is, it's there, but it's different. So I'm gonna stick here, but it doesn't allow these people at the bottom to easily rise to the top of these systems because they don't fit into the box that these systems want them to fit into. So my assumption is not that we are the same. My assumption is that I know that we are all unique, different individuals with different experiences, and these things stop us from being able to do that. Oh, you're watching us on YouTube right now? Oh, good. So you're gonna have the background. You're gonna have the background. Hi, Caution Ho. You might not be who other people are. Some people like to work and make money, and that is fine. You can like to work and make money, but if you don't like to work and make money, and you are a creative person and you want to express yourself through a different means, like literally, like I was saying earlier, if you want to be a teacher, the system incentivizes you to be a business owner more than a teacher. But it shouldn't be that you are a teacher and you want to be a teacher and you want to teach children, but you are not able to do that and make a livable wage. So you are forced to go into doing something that you don't want to do. The system is the problem. It is not that people want to work and make money and people don't want to work and make money. Like, people want to live their lives happily. When people want to have access to resources to feed themselves and their families and to enjoy themselves. People want to work and make money so that they can do that. It is not because they want to work just to work and make money. Like, no, if money wasn't a thing, they would that's the thing. People are not lazy. Like, nobody wants to like wake up every day, do nothing, and then go back to sleep. Like, that is not the ideal life for any human, any animal, any bug, any bacteria, any bird. Like, that is not how life is. Life is motion. Life is energy. Life is movement. Like, there is stagnancy. Once you are stagnant, stagnancy is death. And so just like, I know people want to work. I know people want to create. I know people want to produce, but the systems incentivize us to do that a certain specific way. And that certain specific way is not conducive to our well-being as individuals. It's conducive to the system and the system's well-being. And the system's well-being is only conducive to helping a few, like 10% of people in the entire world. All right. Okay. All right. Sorry. Why you do makeup to receive external validation? Absolutely. I absolutely do makeup to receive external validation. I have done you get your analytics from TikTok, from YouTube, etc. And I have 100% noticed that when my makeup is done, I get more views, I get more engagement than when I don't. So in order to get my messages across, I have to play the game. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's unfortunate. We are incentivized to be in these systems. And so we have to play the game. But I have a lot of videos where where I don't have makeup, and I do that intentionally. One, for my own mental health, because if I wear makeup too much, then, your vision of yourself starts to skew around, and you start to being like, I look ugly without makeup. If you wear makeup too often, or if you wear weave too often, or if you wear your hair dyed too often, like, you start to lose sight, you start to lose the beauty in your natural self. So I do it for external. It's not for external validation. That's the thing. I do makeup for a functional purpose. I do anything I do that it changes my natural look is for a functional purpose. It's not for, I don't need anyone to tell me I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. Like that comes from inside of me. And if you don't think I'm beautiful, then that's your personal opinion, but that doesn't influence how I feel about myself. So it's not for external validation. It's more so for functionality. Like the same reason why if I know I'm applying for a corporate America job, I'm going to wear my hair straight and I'm going to possibly put some blonde highlights in because it's functional. It's functional. I'm aware of the fact that we live in these systems. I'm aware that these systems impact people's mentality about myself and the world around them. And so I intentionally play into them whenever I need to have a specific outcome because I'm trying to get a certain outcome. So it's just like I will use my knowledge of these systems to advance myself and my message, but I'm not in these systems. Like I'm not in the matrix. Like I'm in the matrix, but I'm aware that I'm in the matrix. So it's a different, I'm doing it a little bit differently. So, okay. Convo, curator, me too. Oh, wait. Yep, body dysmorphia. Exactly. Body dysmorphia is certainly real. If you just look at yourself in comparison to other people all day who are smaller or skinnier, then what do you know? You're going to start feeling like you're fat. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I used to have an ED, and I was so like, of course, I had my most body dysmorphia when I was at my very skinniest. It was the weirdest, when I look back at those pictures and I'm like, and I can see all of my bones poking out. I'm just like, ugh, it's so gross now. And I look at myself now and it's just like, I've learned to accept myself at any stage that I'm at. It's just like, you have to like literally train your brain to be like, look in the mirror and be like, no, I'm beautiful. No, I'm beautiful. Even if you don't think I'm beautiful, you just have to look in the mirror and in your most natural state and tell yourself you're beautiful, like every day, at least once a day, until you actually believe it. And eventually you will, because you are who you are, and who you are is like, it's a beautiful person. Like, I don't know how to explain that, but like, it's like whatever your brain is like, it's super smart, but it's also super dumb. Your brain is easily trainable. It's easily trickable. It's easily, like influenced. Like that's why all these systems are so successful, because they influence people to believe these things based on like through propaganda, through media, through like exposure therapy. Essentially, like, everyone in the world feels like, well, not everyone in the world, but like so many people in the world feel like, white beauty standards of like long hair, light blonde hair specifically, lighter skin, more narrow noses, like thinner bodies. Like people subscribe to this beauty standard not because they believe it, but because, oh, thank you, yeah, join my fan club, become an amp. Amp is for amplifier, and amplifiers are amplifying me. I'm a speaker. Bri Speaks. You get it? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm done. But people don't think about where their beauty standards came from. They just know that I like blonde hair. I know I just like being skinny. Like even during the whole BBL phase thing, where it's like, thicker bodies were in, in the Black community, thicker bodies is like, that is our standard of beauty. It's never going to change. But it is because people started thinking they needed BBLs because they started seeing women with BBLs all the time, and they started getting external messages that BBLs, big booties, are beautiful. Big booties are beautiful. Big booties are beautiful. And then if you get that all the time, suddenly now you think big booties are beautiful. Like people don't, like, you don't understand like how like that's how you, and then you get all these women who are getting surgeries, and they're just like, oh no, I'm just getting a surgery because I want this. It's because like I feel like this will make me feel more beautiful. But people don't think about like, where did that belief come from? Why do you feel like you'll be more beautiful with a bigger behind? Like why is that? It's because you've been on Instagram for the last year and you see every one of your like rich people with high social status, people with money, people with influence, people with fame, people with power. They have this look. And so in order for you to get money, fame, influence, and power, you start to believe you need this look as well. It didn't come from inside of you. It became from external sources, and it manipulated and changed your brain. Like people don't understand how they are influenced by the things that by the things that they ingest, by the media that they consume. And they just feel like these feelings came from them, their own opinion that had nothing to do. I want surgery because I want surgery. It has nothing to do with anything else. It has nothing to do with beauty standards. It has nothing to do with nothing. This is just how I feel. Like that is how women will present it. But it's like, no, lady, how much time do you spend on Instagram? I bet you if I did a study, the correlation between the amount of time spent on Instagram and the amount of women who have BBLs, there will be an extremely strong correlation. Like women who are on Instagram between the years of 2010 and 2020, to like 2025, let's say like 2010 to 20, let's just say 2020, like, or maybe 2023, I feel like it's when the BBL trend started kind of going down. But if you are a woman on Instagram during those years, and you were on Instagram at a higher rate, I bet you there will be a higher rate of women who have BBLs in that group. But same thing with like Tumblr. If you were on Tumblr during the super skinny phase, if you were a woman and you were on Tumblr at a high rate, I bet you'll see a high correlation of women who had either EDs or like super like underweight body, they were underweight. Like, it's just like people don't realize how what they consume influences their mind. It's just so if you have low self-esteem and you need to feel better, literally change your timeline to be natural women only, or like women, like, I don't know, just consume content that of people who look like you and who are successful, and then your mind will start changing and saying like, well, let me do this and that's and that, and then and like your brain is a computer. It is so easily programmable, and they know that, which is why they always give you all these commercials to make you feel like you're not beautiful, so that you can buy their products, or they feel like they make you feel like, if you're a Christian, like you're not Christian enough, so that you can give more money to your tithes, or if you're in the patriarchy, like, so many queer people who don't feel comfortable coming out because they want to maintain their social status as a person within the patriarchy, and so you can't live in alignment and be who you are and be yourself because you are incentivized to be inside of these layered systems. Okay. OMG, I've been waiting to see you on live and ask you an ADHD question. What is I just want your opinion. Hey, I'm all about ADHD. You let me know. And I gotta promote myself. And if you want your free 2 ADHD hoodie, oh, you can't see it. Okay, if you want your free 2 ADHD hoodie, please do go to my website, free2adhd.com. They will be the comfiest hoodies you'll ever wear. Diverge from normal is what that says. I encourage everyone to diverge from normal. Diverge from normal. Diverge from normal. Normal is not. It is not it. It is not the way. What are your thoughts on intersectionality? Oh, I've got thoughts here. Hey, I've got this whole chart, because you certainly can be queer. You can be lower class. You can be Black, and then you can also be a member of the congregation, and you will very likely end up in just statistically based on this matrix, you will end up in a worse place. Like, again, if you get your love and your validation from inside of you, no one can take that from you. But it's just like it certainly matters. All of these categories are separate, but that doesn't mean you won't fall into, like, you could be a hetero woman and then also be middle class and then also be like Black. Like, just because you're in one line doesn't mean you're going to be in the same line for all the categories. And you will have like essentially different privileges depending on where you are in the hierarchy in the specific system. So intersectionality, I don't know, intersectionality is everywhere. Like, most people will end up being in different places within within these categories, and they will affect you in different ways, and you will have to navigate your privileges and use them to your advantage. Like I said, I know I present as a hetero straight woman, although I'm very queer. But I use this to my advantage because I know I'm also like a Black person, and so I have to navigate the biases that come with Black people and Black women. And I was able to get to I was able to get to middle management. I was almost a vice president of a company, but I guess I ended up burning out because, like, in order for me, as a Black woman who who came from a lower class, it took so much energy for me to transfer myself into this area where I would be more easily accepted into these levels of this hierarchy, and I couldn't put out that much energy in order to get these things that they want, in order to be the person that they wanted me to be. I was doing my intake for therapy, and they asked about any mental diagnoses, and I kept saying ADHD. Therapist said that that's not really a mental thing, and now I feel like this is the wrong therapist. Okay, so here's the thing about ADHD, and I have a video in my drafts that I've been like on the fence about posting because it's like it could be a hot take. ADHD only here's the thing. ADHD only exists in the realm of these hierarchies. Because as someone who does have ADHD, I take medication every day. Well, I used to take medication every day. When I was in corporate America, I had to get up every day, take my medication so that I could force my brain to focus on the things that I did not want to focus on. Like, I did not care to send these emails to these people. I did not care to think about how to get these contracts for these businesses. I did not care about any of that shit. And because I didn't care about it, and I knew, like, my internal spirit did not care about it, my brain, like it rejected doing that work. But if you drug yourself enough, if you drugs yourself enough, you can make your brain do anything. Like, of course, if you change the chemicals in your brain from what they are naturally to something else, you can make yourself do something you don't want to do. It's why anyway, I'm not gonna talk about those, but that's why people drink a lot whenever they're doing stuff with people they don't want to do stuff. Or like people do drugs because it changes their chemistry and it takes them away from who they are to make them something else so that they can do what they want to do, like do what they have to do in order to get money, resources, and social status. But once I quit this job or like / got fired, whatever you want to say, I got up. I remember getting up the next few days in a row and getting up, making my breakfast, working out, doing my content creation. Like I just flowed. I just did what I wanted to do, and I didn't need to take my medication. And it's just like, it's like ADHD only exists whenever you're forced to do things you don't want to do. In the natural world, before all of this crap was set up, we would wake up, we would hunt a few hours or gather berries and lettuce and like vegetation a few hours, and then we would rest the rest of the day. That is how life is we're supposed to work 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 hours a day, and then really only do that every other day, because you didn't really have to do that every single day. But we are in a system where they make us work 8 hours a day every single day. That doesn't work for me. And I would work, Monday and Tuesday really, really hard, or as hard as I could. And then Wednesday, I remember most Wednesdays I would get nothing done because I would be so burnt out and I would need a break in the middle of the week. And then I would do a little bit on Thursday, and then Friday I would feel okay to get a whole bunch more work done. And then I get my break Saturday and Sunday. So I had ended up making myself a schedule, and Wednesdays I try to make sure I didn't schedule myself any calls. And it's just when I had a day where I woke up and I just could not get anything done, I would just say fuck it. I would just say fuck it, and I would respect my brain and respect the fact that I didn't want to do this and I couldn't force myself to do it today. And I would just quit at 11 a.m. And I would respond to my boss if she messaged me, or to a coworker if they messaged me. But I would sit on TikTok or watch YouTube videos, and I would just relax, because I'm just I am not going to beat myself into submission to do this work when I can't. So it's it exists, but it only exists in the confines of these things. But if you have a job in corporate America, or you have a job that forces you to use your attention to do things that you don't love doing, it does exist, and you have to get medication. But again, neurodivergence only exists when you're comparing one brain to a neurotypical brain, and that neurotypical brain was created by white psychiatrists in America. If you're if you cannot sit down, follow directions, not question anything, not think too deeply, you have a neurotypical brain, and it's usually a white American brain. And if you're anything different, this is why Black people have higher rates of ADHD, because literally our brains, we don't work that way. They say ADHD has hyper rejection sensitivity dysphoria, and it's just we have a higher level of empathy. It's just we feel strong feelings because we are more aligned with our brains and our minds and our bodies and our spirits. We feel things. And again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, is if you are aligned with yourself and your spirit, you are much more easily able to see who else is aligned. And it's so you get very confused when you're in a world where everyone else is not doing weird things. Is this PDF available for download or purchase? It is. If you go to the link in my bio, you'll see a donation link. And if you want to send $5 is the lower amount, but it took a lot of time. So whatever you want to send, I will take $5, minimum $5. But if you want to send anything more than that, please do send it, and I can email you the PDF for this happily. I've added, same with meds. I take 5, right? I'm a cis Black man, so I've been trying to understand my privileges. Hey, if you're a cis Black man, then, you as long as you can escape your Blackness, which I know sounds crazy, but I don't know if you heard the phrase "I'm not Black, I'm OJ" for OJ Simpson when he beat his trial for killing his white wife. You can escape being Black as a Black man, not to say very easily, but because you'll never be you'll never be above white people, if that makes sense. No, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but anyways, if you can code switch, if you can code switch enough out of your Blackness, as a straight man, if you get yourself your clean cut, no locks, no like nose rings, no Tupac nose ring, and if you can code switch enough as a Black man, you can make it to Obama, you can make it to MLK, I guess, I don't know, or like other high earning Black male figures. Who is it? There's the CEO of Common Spirit Healthcare System is a Dean something. He's a Black man too. Like, you, as a Black man, you can make it very high in this world, but you just have to learn to code switch so that your Blackness doesn't, threaten white people or, make them feel uncomfortable. Don't talk about being Black. Don't talk about Black stuff. Just laugh at their jokes. Just ha 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 he he he. If you feel like spending the energy to code switch out of your Blackness as a cis Black man, you can make it very far. You just have to learn white culture and whiteness, and your privileges will shine. They will shine. Take like 5 meds. Oh no, I'm so sorry. You have to take like 5 meds. All of them, all meds that you have to take for mental health they're all, not to say they're all fake. They do change the neurochemistry in your brain. But the reason why you have to take them is because of these systems. It is unnatural. Like, people who have depression, they are depressed because they're not living a natural life. It's like they don't have the money, power, resources that they have. And then also, I will say, it is like a mentality shift. Like, if you say I'm sad every day, you're going to be sad every day. But if you lie to yourself and say you're happy, again, your brain is easily tricked. Eventually, your brain will be like, well, she said I'm happy. Well, she's smiling. Then, you have to, there's like a threshold of like, you have to like beat it out of yourself essentially, and you can get past like the depression, the anxiety. If you like, and anxiety comes from thinking of the future too much and not living in the present. Anxiety is fear of the unknown, of the future. And if you're always like, meditation is very good for anxiety because it makes you be very present, very in your body. And something I used to do to get rid of my anxiety is always ask myself, are you dying? Is like, are you dead? Are you dying? Are you physically in pain? Are you physically being attacked? And when the answer is usually no to all of those questions, and that would help calm my anxiety. So it's like, even if I'm like, in an argument with my boss, or like about to get fired, or like anything, as long as I can tell myself I am alive and I am safe and no one is physically harming me right now, like, I can get past whatever else is happening. So, just another tip for anxiety is to, be very present and in your body. I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but I almost feel like being neurotypical is the farthest from our animal selves. And I agree. Neurotypical, like I said, I feel like neurotypical is very unnatural. I feel like it's, okay, I don't want to, like, it's just, I don't know, neurotypical, because again, what it is being aligned with white culture, white supremacy culture, of like corporate culture, of like sitting and doing and not thinking. And I'm just like, that is not normal for, I feel like, a lot of people. And neurodivergent is like closer to our animal nature selves. Yeah. And all the comments under it were, who set up that system? Exactly. And who set that system up? I was talking to a white woman, and she was trying to tell me I need to tell Black men to like not sit down, but like Black men were basically saying, the patriarchy exists and white women aren't doing well under the patriarchy. And then like Black men are like, who set that system up? And then the white woman was trying to tell me like, hey, you should tell these Black men to like, that they benefit from the patriarchy too. And I'm just like, again, Black men can only they can benefit from the patriarchy when it comes to like Black women and Black men. But when it comes to like the overall system, Black men can only benefit if they get rid of their Blackness. And then on top of that, I ended up having to give her literally a dissertation of resources that talked about matriarchies in Africa, indigenous Africa before colonialism. The vast majority of cultures in African countries were women were in high positions of leadership, the highest position of leadership. They were, the spiritual seers, they were the oracles, they were highly respected and regarded, and if not the actual leaders in the society. So I was just like, no, all of this, men on top, men in control, women are subservient, men submissive. That came with Christianity, and that came with colonialism. We did not make that up. We did not make that up. Do I send it to you, Cash App or something? It is. I have a link in my bio for a PayPal donation link, and so that is where I accept my donations if you would like to donate, and that'll be super duper extra nice because I am making money all on my own these days, and that is a scary place to be, but I am okay with it because I am so much happier now than I was getting up every day and putting on my corporate America mask and having to be someone who I wasn't. And so how am I going to pay my bills? We'll figure it out. But But yeah, that's not your guys' problem. I don't think they are fine. It's just safe from cruel force used in fun way. I think ADHD worsens when living in a neurotypical world. It only exists when living in a neurotypical world. It doesn't ADHD doesn't exist any other time. Honestly, it's like if we could just because we are like quote unquote impulsive, like we have like quick instincts, like our attention is very easily drawn to things that are like to colors, to motions, to movements. But that is beneficial when you are looking for game in the wild because you can quickly see, okay, that bush ruffled over there. I'm sure there's a rabbit in there that we can eat. Like it's a very natural and positive thing when it comes to living a natural life. But these systems are set up so that we are living an inverted life. And so you don't so it's only not beneficial because they want us to sit down and be controlled. Like ADHD it only is a problem when someone is trying to control you. Literally, boom, full stop, that's it. ADHD is only a problem when someone is trying to control you. You are hard to control when you have ADHD. That is it. Like that is the only reason why it's a problem. So people cannot control you. Like that's why they're trying to round up all the autistic people right now. Freaking JFK is because people who are autistic, they have extreme pattern recognition. They have extreme like logic. So it's just like you can't tell someone with autism like you should do this instead of that when this doesn't make sense because people with autism are gonna be like, what? Now why would I do that? And they'll be like, they will literally say that doesn't make any sense. And I'm just like, exactly. I had to figure that out. Like I used to be that way when I was in corporate America and I got passed on for promotion, like 2 promotions. And until one of my, so essentially a white lady sat me down. It was just like, Bri, we love you. You have a lot of influence in this company and people listen to you and they look to you as a leader. Mind you, at the time I was an individual contributor. So I wasn't getting paid to be nobody's leader, but she was like, oh, you are seen as a leader. People they listen to what you say. So you have to be careful with what you say. And I was just like, they listen to what I say because they know I speak nothing but facts and truth. So like you're telling me I have to be careful with what I say. But that's what happens. So once I learned how to be more filter my speech and not just always speak the obvious question out loud, I ended up getting a promotion because because I was more easily controlled. I was more easily predictable. Like all of these systems, you rise to the top when you really here is it's weird because these like the bottom 3, the 90%, you'll rise the more easily you listen, the more easily you're controlled. But then once you're at the point where you're always controlled, you break through by having your own thoughts, but in a controlled fashion. So it's just like this bottom layers are training you to do what they want you to do. And then at the top, you can have a little bit more of a difference of opinion, but you still need to make sure you're doing what they want you to do. Like that's what it is. It's just it's like when you are down here, you're typically a very I don't know, not impulsive, but you're a very independent person down here. Because if you're at the bottom, it's like essentially you have nothing to lose. Like that's the thing. When you have nothing to lose, you are going to be yourself. You're going to be aligned with who you are. It's like I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be, and that's why you're a problem. You're a problem because you're at the bottom and you're not listening and you're doing what you want to do, and you're going to stay where you're at. But once you figure out, oh, okay, well if I shrink myself, if I become a little bit more quiet, if I do what they ask me to do, and then we'll rise up, and then you'll rise up a little bit more. And then once you've been trained enough and being a complicit, controlled being, they're like, okay, now you can be the CEO and talk for us as a company. Like now that I know, and like this, also you have to sell your morals here. Also, this transition from the 90% to the 10%, gotta sell your morals, still be controlled, but maybe have some genuine ideas of your own, and then you can get here. And then when to get up here, you have to sell your soul to the devil. You have to be let go of all things that make you a human, and then you can be a part of the elite class. Like they test you by seeing if you'll eat the blood of a baby. No, I'm just kidding. But that's what it feels like. But that's what it feels like to be a billionaire. Nah, you gotta go to a Diddy party. You gotta go to Epstein Island. You gotta to be a billionaire, you gotta show them that you down. The anxiety and depression of it amplified from living a life without play and exploration. Exactly. Right. Exactly. People always say, oh, I got old, so I stopped playing. No, you stopped playing, so you got old. I always say that because the life, again, this life that they want you to live, they don't want you to be different. Like I took my son for like his like 8th or 9th birthday to the trampoline park. And when I say it was all, white people there who are just sitting on the sidelines and just looking at their children jump, whereas me and my husband, we were like, oh no, we getting in on this. And it was just like, all the parents looking at us like we were so weird because we're parents who actually wanted to be on the trampoline with the kids and hang out and jump and have fun. And it's just like, why not? It's like, why not? It's because y'all live in this bubble of control. Most white people in America are, in this like, upper working class. So you have to conform. You have to conform in order to be in these upper boxes here. And it's just like, I hate conforming. It takes too much energy. It causes you anxiety because it's just like, because you're not being your natural self, you're like, ooh, is this right? And you start overthinking. It's just like, ooh, did I say that right? Because it's not coming from a natural place. It's coming from a manufactured place in your mind. So you're always going to have gaps over what is right and what is not right because you're working from a place of your I don't know how to explain it, but like you're manufacturing this image of yourself. You're trying to be something that you're not. And so you're always going to have anxiety or depression or scarcity in your mind because that all of it is a facade, which is also why, I'm not going to go into the to racism, but it's just like, I feel like that's, I don't know, y'all. I feel like that's why a lot of white people get so upset whenever we talk about racism. It's because like, it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but like they know it's real. I feel like deep down in their hearts, but they don't want to admit that because then they might have to admit white supremacy, or they might have to admit that they got something that they didn't earn or deserve, or like that some sort of luck was involved, which it is. You in America, I want to say you're lucky to be born white if you're in America, but I wouldn't say that's true because I love being Black. I love being at the bottom of this pool because like, again, even when I was in my corporate America job and I was here and I was like rising here, I had all of this anxiety. And now I'm poor, y'all. Now I'm like, well, I don't have a job. I don't have a corporate American job anymore, but I feel, y'all, when I say I feel so much more free, I can be myself again. Like that is worth every single 6-figure job it was just the one 6-figure job, but it was worth losing my 6-figure job just to be able to wake up and be in my own skin and be myself and not have to think about who, not hurting Sarah's feelings or not saying something that's offensive to Amy, or just having to play this game or having to be on. It's just like, I can't say anything wrong or else like, and then as a Black person, of course, if you don't like, people say that white privilege doesn't exist, but I don't like the word white privilege. I always say that white privilege is actually the unearned benefit of the doubt is what it is. And so when you're a Black person in America, you don't get unearned benefit of the doubt. You have to earn all of your benefit of the doubt. So you have to be great, be wonderful, fantastic, and do everything right for you to make one mistake and then be like, oh, give Bri the benefit of the doubt. Versus if your name's Heather or Claire or something and you walk in and you make a mistake right off the bat, you get that unearned benefit of the doubt. They're just like, oh, don't give Claire the benefit of the doubt. She's fine. But if Bri walks in and messes up on day 1 or day 2, they're just like, I wonder if she was a good hire. I wonder if that was the right decision to do. Like Obama, everyone talks about Obama. If Obama was doing the stuff that Trump was doing, he would have been out of there day 1. But just because he's a Black person, he doesn't get any unearned benefit of the doubt. He has to earn every benefit of the doubt he get. Versus Trump, he goes in as a white man, and it's just like everyone already. If he grab him by the schmussy, it's just like, oh, he didn't mean it, or like, oh yeah, he's a good businessman, even though he bankrupted all his businesses, but he still has money. So like, you just give all this benefit of the doubt. White people get so much benefit of the doubt that they did not earn. Unearned benefit of the doubt is like, that is what white privilege is, and white people don't really understand. Like they're just like, oh, I earned everything I got, and it's like, yeah, you did earn everything you got technically, but it also came with like extra chances, extra leeway, extra help, like extra mentorship. It's just like you guys get a lot more of like this, again, just this benefit of the doubt. And that benefit of the doubt, y'all don't understand, it gets you so far. It gets you so far when people just believe in you, when people just feel like you're capable, when people feel like, it's just like you get what you're supposed to get. Like, I'll never forget, I broke my finger, right? And that's why my finger's a little bit ugly. And I went to the doctor, and it was this snooty white orthopedic doctor, and they were asking me, my occupation, so that they know, how I need to use my finger. And I was telling them, I'm a director of account management for a healthcare leadership and development firm. That was my high 6-figure paying job. And I'll never forget this white man. He says, oh, like, really? Is it a small firm? And I was just like, why can't I be a director of account management at a big firm? Why are you asking me if it's a small firm? Because he didn't give me the benefit of the doubt that I was an intelligent, capable Black woman. It's just like, but I know for a fact if a white boy came in there, same age, same spectrum, that he said, yeah, I'm a director of account management. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like, that's it. It's just like small stuff like that. Just Black people never get the benefit of the doubt. It's just like, I was listening to a TikTok creator, and she was talking about how she was traveling to first of all, it was an African country, but the resort that she was going into was, mostly white, and mostly white people went there. And so many people asked her, like, oh, what are you doing here? It was just like, it was like, oh, do you work at that store? Like when Black people get asked by white people, do you work here? And it's just like, you don't give us the benefit of the doubt that we're a shopper, or that we're a tourist, or that we are at a social standpoint in our lives where we could afford the same things as you. It's always, oh, I'm assuming that this person is poor, and I don't give them the benefit of the doubt of being a well-off person. And so I'm just going to assume that they are not supposed to be here, or that they are the help. It's just like, so that's what I'm saying. It's just like Black people, white people, it's like your privilege is the fact that everyone just believes you and believes in you. Like Ted Bundy, he got away with offing so many people. It's because he was a handsome white man. And if you are a handsome white man, you get unearned benefit of the doubt. It's just like, oh yeah, sure, he wants to help me with my groceries just because he's a good person. Like, oh yeah, it's just like all of this unearned benefit of the doubt that white people get, and they don't understand how far that pushes you. That pushes you so much further than Black people, who have to work so hard to get people just to believe that they are qualified, just to believe that they are smart, just to believe that they are intelligent. It's just like, that is like, I'm just like, it's just like, the same thing. Like, but like, so these hierarchies, they come with that. Asian people, they get unearned benefit of the doubt that they're intelligent just for being Asian. Like the same thing. It's just like each of these hierarchies, each of these layers, they come with a certain benefit of the doubt, or benefit in general, that people give you just because you have this external. And again, all of these systems are set up on external measures. External validation is nothing that you can measure on the inside of people, and that's how they work. Is that they all are measuring people based on what they can see, and again, it makes it very difficult for all of us to be our truest selves, because we have to put on this performance in order to meet these standards, in order to get resources to help us be able to live a life. Okay, sorry, let me look at these comments. I am behind. Is not okay. Not natural. Also, thank you, Ada. Thank you, caution, HOE, shenanigans. Thank you for all of the love. My new job has the best boss I've ever had. He lets me do my work without micromanaging. That is beautiful. I'm so happy for you, shenanigans. That is a wonderful thing. You keep that job with your whole life. Auto credibility. That's a great way to put it. Yes, white people have auto credibility. It's just like they start with credibility, and then you have to do terrible things in order to lose it. And even then, you see Donald Trump, it don't matter how many terrible things he does, people are just like, like when people are still like, well, no, it's just, again, they give him all this leeway, all this benefit of the doubt. And the same thing happens with Kamala. Is like everyone, all these white people, oh, hold on. They said I'm not being active enough, which I think is crazy. Same thing with Kamala. Like, so many white people came off with like, oh, she's not qualified. I'm like, oh, the amount of people who said she's not qualified is crazy. Which she has been in all 3 branches of government, had her law degree. Like, really, literally, probably, I think it was said that she was one of the most qualified, like, presidential candidates of all the presidential candidates ever. But everyone said she wasn't qualified, and they automatically said her policy sucked. Like, they just had all these assumptions that everything she had to say was going to be negative or bad for the economy or bad for the country. And then Trump, he automatically had this like, oh yeah, he's going to help the country. Oh yeah, he's going to be great. And it's just like, are you even listening to yourself? Did you look at her policies? Did you read anything she had to say? You just assume like, oh no, she sucks because she sucks. Yeah, I said the system of whiteness is a big participation trophy. It sure is. Hi, Sava Tutu love. I love Tutu. Sava Tutu love. My favorite number is 2, and I always say 2 twice is 22. So I enjoy your name, Sava Tutu love, just FYI. I love being Latina. Yeah, I love Latinos. My husband is half Dominican, and my son's father is El Salvadorian, which I hate my son's father. He's awful and and narcissistic, and his mom is a narcissist. But I enjoyed learning all of the Spanish culture. And yo hablo español mucho, y yo hago mi Duolingo cada el día, every day. So I speak a lot of Spanish as well, and I enjoy learning the Spanish language because it helped me understand how how English as a language is even patriarchal patriarchal, and English as a language is like it just sucks. English sucks as a language. And y'all sounds like I should put that up here. Like even language is a system of separation. Cause like I was saying, indigenous like African and like Yoruba languages, they don't have words for like man and woman. They have words for like living and not living. So just the fact that we have like these masculine and feminine, and same thing with Spanish, honestly, with los and las and ella and ellos, or even like a group of people is if it's a group of women, it's ellas in Spanish, but if it's a group of women and men, it's ellos. But if it's a group of men, it's ellos. So like when you put all the genders together, it's like the masculine like wins out for talking about a group of people. And I'm just like, so even just having gender pronouns and gender nouns in these languages, it sets it up so that you think in gender binaries versus other languages you don't even think in gender binaries. Like I was looking at there's like an indigenous Native American language, I think it was, and they only speak in like verbs. They only speak like the most of their words are just verbs. It's just like because everything in life is motion, everything in life is doing. It's like there's nothing in life that you're not doing that is not being done. And so I'm just like even that they didn't have, again, there were no gender pronouns. It was just like verbs, and I want to say life and non-life maybe, but like people don't even understand like when you just like one, I really encourage everyone who speaks English just to learn another language, because you respect how smart and intelligent people have to be to learn a second language, but it also exposes you to like a new way of thinking. So with Spanish, when I was thinking about Spanish, it has a better way of describing like feelings, like not just like emotions, but like because like English, it describes things in like in a such a factual way versus other languages. They describe, they have words that describe energies. They have words that describe like feel like the emotion around something. So like we use metaphors a lot. So if we have like I don't know, the feeling of a first rain reminds me of like, I don't know, a newborn baby waking up in spring or something like that. I don't know. We have metaphors that help us convey the emotion of an experience, but other places have words for it. They will literally have like, I don't know, like I'm just like I don't know why this is the first thing that's coming to mind is in Spanish they have gringa, which is like I guess because I'm talking about race, but a gringa is a person like it's like usually a white person who's like I don't know trying to be I don't know, it's like I don't know how to explain it. See, that's the thing. It's just like other languages have words that express like the feeling, the situation, the emotion, the aura, the energy, the frequency of a situation, but English doesn't have that. It breaks down everything into yes or no, this or that, like, and it takes away people's ability to even express emotion and feelings. And so it's just like, yeah, not even English as a language is a patriarchal, like control. It's like even English as a language is a control mechanism that doesn't allow people to express themselves in a communal way. It expresses it everything from an individual, like this is my perspective, which is another problem with white supremacy. It's just like everyone, a lot of people in white supremacy America have the perspective that my perspective is the only perspective, is the right perspective, is the best perspective, and they don't even think about the fact that someone else could be coming from a different perspective. Like, and that's why I feel like so many white people don't believe in racism, is because they don't experience it, and they don't see it, and they think that they're not enacting it, and so it can't be real because my perspective says it's not real. So what are you talking about? And they don't think about, oh, this person could have a different perspective. And then because white supremacy culture tells you that as a white person you have this inherent authority over other people, and you have this inherent intelligence, you have this inherent knowing, that so you feel like not only is your perspective the only perspective and or the best perspective, but it's the right perspective, and anyone who has a different perspective, their perspective is invalid. Their perspective is invalid because you have the white perspective, and the white perspective is the right perspective. According to America, not according to me, not according to, white people, some white people as individuals. I know like Good Trouble Politics is in here. Like this is a fantastic person who is a white person. A fantastic white person, fantastic white woman. She is. It's just like she understands that there are different perspectives, and she's okay with taking in like the perspectives of people of color or Black people, and not taking it as a as an insult. Like, I'm still fighting people in my comments as we speak about this blonde hair situation. I'm about to do another video on it because there are people still, white women still coming in my comments saying that blonde hair does not support white supremacy, and me saying that is racist in and of itself, and then that I'm obsessed with race. It's just like all this craziness, y'all, that white people are saying about me because I said white hair is supports white supremacy. But the crazy thing is whenever I bring up Mustache Man and the Aryan race, they never respond. They never respond. I'm just like, y'all are saying that my take saying that blonde hair is a supporter of white supremacy. I'm crazy. Y'all are saying that I'm crazy. But whenever I say, but what about Schmittler? Schmittler loved blonde hair and blue eyes and thought it was like the peak pinnacle of the Aryan race. It's like, I was just like, is that, what about that? So you feel like there's no correlation? I was like, and every MAGA woman, like 90% of MAGA women are blonde, like bleach platinum blonde. That feels like, and we know MAGA is racist. Like, so you feel like that is no coincidence? That's a coincidence. There's no correlation between MAGA being blonde and the Aryan race, them being racist. None of that is, none of that. Thank you, Luna. None of that. They never respond. They never respond to that. But I'm just like crazy. Right. Boxed at that. Like, that's the thing, y'all. They be box blondes, but they will fight tooth and nail, to say that they're natural blonde because, they were born blonde. I'm like, yeah, so many white people can be born blonde. Like, I was born light skinned. If that's what we go, so I'm light skinned because I was born light skinned. Like, that's what it is. Like, black people get darker as we come out the womb. White people probably don't know this, but like black people will check the ears of babies because when you're born, there's a old wives' tale that the ears will match their real skin color. So the top of the ears will be like really dark, and the baby will be light skinned. It's just like, don't worry, the melanin will come in. It's just like we're all born light skinned for the most part. So should I just go around saying that I'm light skinned because I was born light skinned? I'm gonna start using that as a reply. Because it's just like they say, I was born blonde, so I am blonde. I just wanted to keep it the same color. Like, if you were born blonde and your hair is dark now or brunette or black and you have to keep dyeing it blonde in order for it to be blonde, is not blonde. Like, the cognitive dissonance, y'all, like, they will literally fight facts in front of them in order to have the feeling that they have inside of them, like, meet the external reality that they want to be. Like, it's just like, they will literally ignore facts like the color of their hair in order to be aligned, like to align reality with their mind. And this is what I mean by whatever happens inside of you, your internal reality is what is projected. It's going to be the world that you see outside of you. To the point where these people will delude themselves into thinking they are still blonde as a 30-something-year-old woman just because they were blonde from ages 0 to 6. Isn't that crazy? I'm just like, bananas are green when they start and now they're yellow. Should I say all bananas are green? Y'all, like, what? Lemons are green when they first start. Lemons are green too. Y'all, thank you for this. I'm like, my comebacks. I'm gonna be ready now. I'm just like, I was born blonde, so I'm just like, so that means you never change your color, like, ever. Blueberries, I think they're green or maybe white. Tomatoes are green when they first start, and then now they're red. Are they still green as well? Like, I'm gonna cut their asses up. Okay, let me see what else. She is still, and Kamala is still the most qualified. Exactly, she's still the most qualified, and she's still over here dropping nuggets and gems. Yes, OMG, yes, the language, yes. I've been ruminating on that so much lately. We don't even have words for enough feelings. We don't. We have all of these words for feelings that like, I don't know how to explain it, but like the feelings wheel, I was looking at that and it's just like, they got all these words that have all these different feelings, but they still don't really help you describe anything. There's an autistic woman right now who's studying neurodivergence for her PhD, and she created this essentially like a metaphor card system instead of like, because a person with autism, they're not going to say I have anxiety, I feel anxious. They're going to be like, oh, my stomach hurts, or like I feel weird. And so she was like, instead of saying I feel anxious, she has a card that's like, I feel like a bumblebee inside of a Sprite bottle that's shooken up, and it's just like that. And so it's just like she came up with this system where it's like there are metaphors that give a better description of how you feel versus these words that you just have to know the definitions for in order to use them properly. So it's just like the English language is a terrible job, and that's why so many people, I feel like, in the English language are not in touch with their feelings. They don't, because talking about feelings, one, is not necessarily normalized, especially for men under the patriarchy. And then not only not talking about feelings is not normalized, but the tools that we have, the language that we have, the words that we have to talk about feelings is inadequate. It is inadequate at best. I'm learning Spanish and ASL. Oh, wonderful. I know juice. I know water. And I think, thank you, or like in like morning. Okay. I know, I knew, I was teaching my son ASL when he was like, a baby before he could talk. And so I remember some of that. And my husband loves ASL. I don't know. Like, cause he used to work in a place where he had a coworker who knew ASL. And ever since then he's been like super fascinated about it. But ASL is so cool. I was just thinking we need to make new words for English. We need to, yeah, we do. We will still everything else from foreign people and foreign cultures. We definitely need to steal some of their language. But the thing is, like, because English is the money making language, most people steal words from the English language. Like, it's sad because English is like pervasing its way through the rest of the world much more than the rest of the world is pervasing its way through English. But that's going to change soon, y'all. If y'all are keeping up with global economics, BRICS, which is BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're creating a new monetary system so that we don't have to use the dollar anymore. So that we can essentially it's going to be gold. It's going to be able to be used as a liquid cash or a currency, and we'll be able to, and countries with a lot of raw materials will be able, which is Africa, will be able to navigate and be able to get money without having to go through the IMF, which is the International Monetary Fund, which is a racist bank system that only helps European countries. So donation sent. I'm not sure if my first comment went through. Okay, thank you, Madam Mumi. I will, once I get off live, I will ensure that I'll send you a message asking for your email, and then I can send you the PDF of this. I'm so glad you like it. Ooh, that makes me so happy. I need to put my name on it or something so that people don't steal it. Because it took a lot of work to come up with these systems and to be able to show how they are all like, the whole point of me making this was to show that all these systems are the same. It's like the purpose of all these systems is to put a lot of artificial power, money and money and resources in the hands and in the control of a small and elite class, while making all of the people who actually produce the money, the value, and the resources feel powerless and feel like they have no control. That was the point of me making this, because like people see these systems, I feel like, as separate entities, and they see these systems and they don't believe that they're true, or they see these systems and they don't think, and they know about them, but they don't connect them all together. But I study narcissism, and as someone who studies narcissism, I was able to see like the way that a narcissist treats a victim is the way that all of these systems are like have a person in control and treating the rest of these people. And there are all these systems in place, and they use the same like gaslighting, they use the same love bombing, they use the same tactics that narcissists use to control their victims. These elite classes and these systems in general use the same exact tactics, but at a system level, to exert power and control over all of the people underneath them. So that is how I was able to and I got ADHD, which is, when you're neurodivergent, you have elite pattern recognition. And so I was able to very easily see like, oh, wait a second, all of these things are the same as a narcissist, but it just shows up in a different way. But which is why I say the world is upside down, because narcissism is it's a very backwards concept of like one person being over other people, and like it's just not true. Apparently that has to do with reading level too. Oh yeah, nah, don't get me into the reading level of America and how everyone in America has a 6th grade reading level, and that 6th grade reading level, and then again, that's intentional, because if you can keep people dumb and stupid, then they cannot rise to a higher level of intelligence and awareness. And once you rise to a higher level of intelligence and awareness, that's how you begin questioning these systems. Like, I got out of my narcissistic relationship because I was given tools, information, but also because I had an inherent curiosity about the world. And I again, as someone who has ADHD, I come from this inherent layer of logic in my mind. And so whenever like my mother-in-law at the time, I came to her and was like, hey, your son is cheating on me. Mind you, I'm like 6 months postpartum. And of course, narcissists always cheat right after you have their babies. Like, in general, all narcissists, they always exert more awfulness on you once you are in a place where you are more tied to them. So like, again, so like the more control that you have, the more control one of any of these systems have over you, the worse the system will treat you to the point where if you are a billionaire, you have the most amount of power and privilege, but you literally don't have a soul. You don't have a soul. You don't have a soul. Or like if you're a millionaire and it's like, you can't say how you feel because then the system can take all of the power back if you say something wrong. So it's just, so if you're a woman or a person who's in a relationship with a narcissist, if you like get married by them or you get pregnant by them, like that is when they will start treating you even worse because they know that it's harder for you to leave. So the same thing was why people are uneducated is because they don't want you to be able to have the logic or the words or the vocabulary to start questioning, why is this like this? This doesn't make sense. What's happening here? They keep us uneducated on purpose. That's why Donald Trump, the first thing they did was dismantle the education system. And it's also why they're pushing religion in these schools, especially in the South. I'm not sure if you guys heard that they're just putting more and more Jesus in the Texas schools, Louisiana schools, all the Southern schools. And it's because when you have religion, it teaches you that there's an authority, there's a hierarchy in morality, right? It teaches you, which you can't see it, but that's what this last column is religion. There's a hierarchy in morality. The more moral you are, the better you are, the higher you can rise in these ranks. The more you don't question God, the more you don't question authority, the more you follow blindly, have blind faith, you will rise higher in the religion system. And you can do that and not question and follow the rules if you are not educated. If you don't know evolutionary science, you don't know biology, you don't know anthropology, if you don't know these things, you don't question the Bible. They just teach you like this is what it is and don't question it. And then again, that mentality will transfer over across these systems. If you are raised Christian and raised not to question authority, don't question your parents, don't question God, don't question the Bible. When you're in a corporate America setting and you have a boss who is an authority figure and they tell you to do something, you're just going to do it and you're not going to question it and you're going to rise the ranks. So that's why they're pushing religion, because that is it is a method of control. It is a method of control. And they love it because it teaches, like it configures the brain in a certain way that is more easily controllable. Like if you have ever been in a cult, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but if you're in a cult, you're much more likely to go into another cult because your brain is already used to high control environments. So going from one high control environment to another high control environment is very easy. That's why the military, they do a lot of their recruitment in Mormon schools because Mormons it's a high control cult. And it's very easy for them to go from the Mormon cult to the cult of the U.S. military because they're already used to that. So that is, and that's also why, I don't know if you guys know this, but white people in general are more likely to go into cults than people of color, than Black people, because white supremacy and white American culture is a cult. It is a cult by definition. If you go through the definition of a cult, of like a charismatic leader, which is your president, this group think, like there's just like there are criteria for cults, and white America is a cult, and so that is why white Americans are much more easily that's why they much more easily go into like the smaller, higher control cults than because they're coming from a different cult of like if white people being born and having to go get a degree, get married, have 2 kids, go to corporate America, like that having a trajectory of life, having a way that you're supposed to do things, that is very cultish. Cults are just a box of control that you have to follow. And white people, they have that from birth. Like this is what you're supposed to do. And this is what you're supposed to do. And that is that is a cult. There isn't, like, you're supposed to be born and then find out who you are on your own and then do what you want to do based on who you are. Like that is how life is supposed to go. But all of these systems of control make it so that you are born and they tell you, here's your goal and here's what you need to do to reach your goal. And if you don't reach your goal, then you're wrong, you're stupid, you're not good enough, you're lazy, XYZ. You have all this shame. A lot of cults have a lot of shame involved. And so that is why that is why white Americans are more likely to go into cults, because they are technically in a cult from the day that they're born and they have to break out of that cult. Okay, talking about feelings is actively shamed. It sure is, especially in this freaking country. It's so weird. It is so weird because feelings are like, they're fundamental to who we are. They're fundamental to who we are. We all have feelings, men and women alike, and not being able to express those feelings causes mental illness. Like, because rumination, like people don't know this, but your brain is, one, your brain is a tool of efficiency, and it enjoys, once it makes a neurological pathway, it will, if you do that same thing over and over again, it strengthens that neurological pathway. And so if you have a feeling and you're not allowed to express that feeling out loud, it'll just stay in your mind, and you'll keep thinking about it over and over again, over and over again, and you're reinforcing that thought pattern, that pattern of thinking in your brain, and it's strengthening that neurological pathway, and then you gain mental illness. Like, that's why, like a lot of, like, this is gonna sound bad, but a lot of victims of SA, especially when they're young and they're not able to talk about that, and they're not able to express their emotions around that, they end up being like violent, or like doing more crime, or like having these awful lives, because they have that awful thing that happened. This is really any trauma. You have that awful thing that happened to you, and you're not allowed to express it. So you think about it all the time, or like you try to suppress it, or like maybe you even forget about it, but it's not gone. And then people don't realize this, but in your brain, like, I don't know how to explain, but essentially the more concentrated something is in your brain, the more powerful it is. So it's like, how do I explain that? But it's like when you think about something, it concentrates that thought in your brain, and the more concentrated that thought, it starts to take over your brain, your thoughts. Like if you think about it all the time, if you want a red Toyota, you start seeing red Toyotas everywhere. And so if you have an emotion that you cannot express, and you're always thinking about it, you start projecting that emotion onto other people. So if you're always angry, or you always feel like someone's about to attack you, you start assuming that everyone's about to attack you. You start seeing signs of attack come from everybody, and then now you got paranoia, because you feel like everyone's out to get you, because you were not able to express like that something bad happened to you when you were young, and so you're hyper vigilant. You're always looking for it, and now you have psychosis. Like, and this is, I have not personal experience. I have personal experience with it, not because of myself, but someone very close to me had that happen to them, and they are now in a very bad mental space because they were never given the space to heal from the things that happened to them. And it just gets worse and worse and worse if you don't like let it out. I think someone said, how could they get this chart? Talking about feelings is actively shame. Yeah, it's gross. It's weird. It's so weird. It's so strange. I guess it's because I feel like people, I don't know, if you talk about like between women, it's definitely better. But I feel like, of course, because the patriarchy, because men, they feel like, it's not a masculine, because I don't know if you see up here, man, hetero, masculine presenting is one of the biggest traits of the patriarchy. And because expressing any emotion that is not anger is not masculine presenting, if you express yourself as a man, you drop down to non-traditional man in the patriarchal hierarchy. It sucks, but these systems, again, they incentivize all of us to act the exact same. And because we are not the exact same, if you act the same, if you're not this naturally, you have to put on this mask, this cover, you have to put on this shield to become this. And that is, you're expending energy trying to be something that you're not naturally. And that energy that you're expending, it makes you tired, it makes you like anxious, it makes you depressed. Like you have all these negative emotions and feelings because you are literally trying to be something you're not, because these systems incentivize that. It is disgusting. It is the most disgusting thing in the whole world now, y'all. When I think about it, it's just like, it pisses me off so bad, because I'm like so many people could be like, again, so many people could have jobs that are so good for society, but because we don't incentivize people to have those jobs, you won't have that job. And so now we have a shortage of teachers, we have a shortage of nurses, we have a shortage of medical technicians. Like, we have a shortage of all these jobs because we don't incentivize them. They don't have high social status, so nobody wants them, even though there are people like myself. I would love to be a teacher, if I'm being honest. And I love children, and it's just like, I would do that if it paid better, but because it doesn't, I don't do that job. Doesn't that suck? Isn't that silly? Isn't that dumb? Like, you guys are all listening to me and look at me. I've created a diagram by myself. Like, I have this capacity, this organic inherent capacity to teach, but I can't do that because I'll get paid $50,000, and I live in the DMV, which has one of the highest costs of living in all of America. And in America has one of the highest costs of living in the entire world. So I literally live in one of the most expensive places in the entire world, but I can't do what I want to do, or else I'll go hungry. Like, Isn't that awful? Isn't that terrible? I could be an amazing teacher for young people everywhere, but I cannot because of capitalism. Like y'all, like that is why this sucks. This sucks. It makes me want to cry because it's like all like the same thing was like being a black person. I always say this, like the amount of latent potential that is in the black community. We are so creative. We are so innovative. We are so like we have these amazing brains that are so neuroplastic and we could do so much. But because we're not given the benefit of the doubt that we can do a lot, we can't, our brains are not they are not grown to their highest potential. Or like, I don't want to say our brains are, but like the things that we can create cannot be manifested because of white supremacy. I was just reading an article on or listening to a TikTok on a black man who he had Asperger's and autism, and he loved trains, right? And I don't know what it is about autistic people and trains, but a high percentage of autistic people just love trains. But he learned trains, he learned how to drive trains, he knew everything about trains. But he got caught and so he was actually driving a train, I think, and he got caught driving a train when he was like just 15 because a train conductor was out and he asked him, "Hey, you want to do this? And you know how to do it?" And he did it. And they arrested him. And now, as long story short, is he kept getting arrested for driving trains that he wasn't supposed to be driving, even though he was helping the people. He was on time. He was like the best train conductor ever. But because he was black, they said you're breaking the law, and they put him in jail. And now they put him in a psychiatric hospital. Versus if he was an old white boy, a 15-year-old white boy driving a train. But call the news. We got a genius on our hands. This man is fast. Give this boy a job. Someone would have bought him a train. Someone would have bought him a train, y'all. Someone would have bought him a train. But because the boy was black instead of white, he was not able to be given the unearned benefit of the doubt. And they said, nah, he's trying to steal our trains. He's a criminal. And they locked him away. You know how much, like, we could have high-speed floating trains right now if that boy was given time, money, and resources instead of being locked up. But we don't have that because white supremacy says he's not allowed. Ain't that some bullshit? Ain't that some bullshit? Someone said they wanted this chart. I take donations but the link is in my bio. It says like donate to like Whitfield Communications, which I'm trying to figure, like that was my LLC was Whitfield Life Communications. So that's my last name. I don't like talking about my last name because it's a white, it comes from my enslaved colonizers. So I'm actually trying to change my last name. But anyways, yeah. So if you want to donate to me, I take at least $5 because this took a lot of work. But if you want to give more than that, I really would appreciate it. And then I will DM you. Get your email address and I will send you the PDF version of this lovely chart that is very, 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 took a lot of work, a lot of brain power. This is years of pattern recognition and analysis in here. So, really, I should start saying $10. But again, I'm not, this is why I lost my last job, because I'm not a capitalist. I'm not someone who just push, I need money to live, but I don't like asking for money. And that my last job was about contracting and contract negotiations. And they wanted me to learn how to ask for more money. And I was just like, I don't like asking people for money. It makes me uncomfortable. Yes, do that. I think it will be helpful with my clients in creating outside of systems. Oh, good. Do you think white people are the golden children of the system? That would make sense to me. Oh, for sure. 100%. Of course they're the white, of course they're the golden people of the system. But it's like I said earlier, I like to highlight the second layer. Like, while the top layer is basically are the creators and the biggest beneficiaries of the system, the second layer of the system are the illusion. They are the illusion that the system is not there, and that if you work hard enough, you too can do it. So while they are the golden child, I wouldn't call it the golden child, because they're the parents. They're the creators of the system. Like, these systems were created by European men, like narcissistic European men created these systems. I'm trying to look at a system on here that wasn't created by a European man. And I can't see one. This, like I said, the last one is Abrahamic religions, Christianity. Islam, I think, was created maybe by Arabian people. But yeah, it's still Christianity is still I wouldn't the number one. It's the number one religion in the United States for sure. And so if you look at this from a United States lens, yes, 100% white people. If you look at this from a lens of Africa or the Middle East, which I hate the word Middle East because again that's coming from the perspective of Europe. Then maybe it's but even then. Well, yeah, and from the perspective of the Middle East, this race column might shift around a little bit. But everything else would really remain the same, because it's just like the patriarchy. The patriarchy is like, I'll put the patriarchy first, because if the world were all Islam, like a lot of Muslim people would like it to be, it would still be, it would, the entire, everything would be the same, except instead of white people at the top, it would be like Middle Eastern or Arabian people at the top. Like, but then everything else would be the same, because a lot of these systems are created with a male perspective in mind. Only men want to accumulate money, power, resources, and status, versus women. We want a world that is safe for women and children, and that would break all of these down. If women were in charge of absolutely everything, it was just like, because these are not our priorities. Our priorities is not acquisition. Like, the priority of acquisition is a very male centered, like ideology. So that is what, white people are the golden children system, but really white men specifically, and then white rich men are the most, because like if you're a traditional man and you're a billionaire slash board, you're probably a board member slash shareholder, and you're white, and then also you're Christian, which is why it's like Charlie Kirk. Like, y'all, if people talk about intersectionality, usually from like the bottom of this, of like, oh, if you're queer and you're black and all this stuff, you got it the worst. But intersectionality, oh, when you are a white Christian shareholding billionaire, and you're a traditional man with a wife, that's every single president ever. Like, that's how you become the president. That's how you become a governor. That's how you become the Trumps. That's how you become, like, this is how you get up here. It's like you have to meet the intersectionality of this purple column. Vulnerability is their sinister bat signal. Yeah, is their yeah, it is. They love vulnerability. Oh, also, thank you, JJ Master Chef. Ooh, Master Chef. I went to culinary arts school in high school. It was one of the best things I ever did. So shout out to all of our chefs. More susceptible to like being things. Oh, okay, I missed it. All right, let's be happy together. I agree, Charlie. I agree. We do have so much in common. We do. Good piece from Quebec. Hello, welcome. We love Canada. Although Canada, to my understanding, it still plays in these systems, except, you guys have better. Capitalism isn't so pervasive. Like, you do have capitalism, but better healthcare and stuff. But that is what you resist persists. Oh yeah, for sure. I had a oh my gosh, I missed so many comments. Oh, where can I get the table? If you donate to my link in my PayPal, I will $5 or more. And if you really, I would appreciate $10 because of all the work that went in here. But yeah, send me a donation, then I'll send you with your donation, and put your, what is this called? Your username and your donation. So I'll send you a DM. I'll ask for your email, and then I'll send you the PDF version of this. And then I understand this. I can't disagree, but also I ain't drinking that Kool-Aid. Disarebrew. What do you mean you're not drinking the Kool-Aid? It's like, right. Well, I don't know. Okay. Two things. Like I said, we all have to live in the matrix, because this is the world we live in right now. But, you don't have to drink the Kool-Aid. You don't have to believe that, like, this is like, if you want to rise to the top of these systems, more likely than not, you got to play the game. But the thing is if you can get your mind to adjust to, I don't need to be at the top of these systems. I'm okay being where I'm at. I'm okay being who I am. I would rather be myself and be aligned to my inner being than to be a millionaire or a billionaire. Then you're winning. You're winning. Like, people ask Black people all the time, why are Black people so happy? And it's just like, because we find our joy from within. We don't get our joy from external validation. Like, once you can live in the system, but as long as you don't let the influences of the system impact you, then you win. Like, you win once you don't need to feel like you need, to post the prettiest Instagram pictures, or have the prettiest butt, or like, or the biggest butt, or like, the prettiest skin. And I'm like, I'm breaking out. So I'm like just thinking about that. I'm like, or like, if you feel like, or like, you don't need money, like, once you realize or understand or come to the conclusion that you don't need these things at the top of this system, once you are okay not having these things, and you don't feel like not having these things impacts your inherent internal worth and value, That's how you break out the matrix. That's how you win. It's like people can say, oh yeah, I got a Ferrari, I got $1 million. And you don't feel jealous. You don't feel mad. You don't feel like, oh my God, I wish I had that. Or like, oh, I'm worthless. Or I'm like, value. Like if someone can tell you, I got all this stuff and I'm so happy, and you can face them and say, good for you. I don't care. That doesn't mean anything to me. Then you're winning. You're breaking out the matrix. It's like that is what it is. Like capitalism will never be dismantled as long as people value having more. Like once people, like the thing is, like in nature there's no animal or species that like hoards all of the resources from every other animal and species just so that they can live. In nature, they only gather enough for them to get through the next winter and then rinse and repeat. Like that is it. Like humans need to learn that there's such thing as having enough. Like that is the thing. Like people, it's like in this culture, it's always more. But if we have to get to a point where it's like, I don't want more, like I have enough, like I am enough. I am like, it's just, once you can get to that, like not wanting more, like, cause this puts you in the rat race. Like, cause once you are an upper, like I was making 6 figures and it's just like, okay, now I want to be a millionaire. Once you're a millionaire, you want to be a billionaire. Once you're a billionaire, you want to be a multi-centy billionaire. And now they got centy billionaires. Now they're trying to be trillionaires. So it's just like, if you never like tell yourself, get to your goal of like, what do I need to be enough? I want to be able to pay all my bills without struggling. I want to be able to go on vacations, twice a year. And I want to, be able to provide services to my community. Like if that's your goal, like you don't need more than like, I don't know, $2 million a year to do that in a very happy, sustainable way. Like once people feel like I can get to enough and then be happy with that and not look for more, the world will be a better place. That's how you break out the matrix, is learning what is enough for you and then getting there and then staying there and then staying there and not letting people say, oh, you don't want to get more. You don't want to expand your business. You want to open another one. You don't want to grow your stock portfolio. You don't want, like, people will come to you and say like, oh, like the reason why private equity right now is winning. The reason why private equity is winning is because they are going around and buying up all of the like the small businesses. Like, you got your big corporations and you have your like startups, but in the middle you have like businesses that are between, like, let's say like $100,000 in revenue to like, like $5 million in revenue. Like that, those middle, like they're not small businesses, but like they're not mega corporations either. Like my favorite freaking cookie shop, Insomnia Cookies, they had like 2 locations, and so private equity just bought that. And that's because the people who own those don't feel like they like, I don't know. It's just like, it makes it feel, it's like, cause you don't feel, capitalism incentivizes you to get money. So when you have a successful business, you will sell it if it will get you more money, versus saying, no, I'm happy with my business. Like I enjoy making cookies, and I'm doing what, like, people need to figure out, like, once you're at your goal, like your goal, that's it. Like make cookies for the rest of your life. Enjoy making cookies for the rest of your life. If you get bored of making cookies, then you can like switch and do something else. But it shouldn't be, I'm selling my business that I work hard to build and that I'm successful at now just because I want to get some more money. Just because private equity came and said, oh, my business is worth, $1 million, but they'll give me 2 million. I'm gonna just sell my business. It's just like, no, you worked hard for this business. You've established yourself in the community. Keep your business and just keep doing it. Like that's like, people, like private equity is winning because everyone wants more money versus being happy with what they have and having a sustainable business that can sustain you for the rest of your life and you and your family. Let that spirit speak. I do. Thank you, Charlie. I do let my spirit speak. It takes over sometimes and it gets me in trouble with TikTok because they want me to, keep up with the comments. Systems of subservience. Yes, that's exactly what they are. That's because we are all, if you are in this bottom 90%, because you can't see it on this little thing, but this is the 1%. If you're in the bottom 90%, you are a subservient person. And it's just like, you're playing the game that these people have set up. And while they up there in the friggin' VIP booths just watching us play the Squid Games. And I'm like, when I saw the Squid Games, I was like, this is such a perfect example of capitalism. It's like they have 600 billion won, and they could split it up between all of them, and all of them could get 100 billion won or 10 billion won or whatever the math is, and go about their day. But that wouldn't be entertaining for the billionaires. So they would rather have these people literally fight to the death, and then one person get all the money, versus a more communist or socialist system where everyone would just split that money amongst one another. Like, why is that such a bad thing? Why do people feel like that's such a bad thing? It's not just pay and social status. The working conditions are terrible. Yep, they sure are. And this is why I always talk about this bottom level is the level where all of change for these systems, any change that has happened in these systems, always come from the bottom, because these people, again, they have nothing to lose. They're already at the bottom. And then when it comes to the working class, every like safety mechanism, every safety regulation, every like the little bit of pay wage that we do have, it all comes from the lower working class, because we are this blue level is treated the worst. And so we have to, like, they have the most fight in them, because middle class is like, oh, I don't want to lose my job as a teacher. And it's just like, if I'm a truck driver one place, or if I'm a janitor one place, I can be a janitor somewhere else. So the working class has they have increased the conditions for everybody, bit by bit, drop of blood by drop of blood. We've got so much in common. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Charlie. And gave him a felony at 15 and killed his dream. Yeah. Oh, so Madam Lumi, you know what I'm talking about the boy with the train, and labeled him a violent criminal. Right. Exactly. Which is right against professional advice. Like, they literally were just like, the professionals were like, no, he's not a violent criminal. He should be fine. And they didn't let him have that. It was ridiculous. I'm called Charlie M. Charlie M. Briere Deslam by the colonizers. Yeah, that's a colonizer name. It looks like it. And then when Mr. Beast made IRL Squid Games, completely missing or not caring about the whole point. Yep, he sure did. Sure did. Yeah, because Mr. Beast, I don't know if he's a millionaire or a billionaire, but by YouTube standards, he's a billionaire. And I don't know if y'all know, if y'all think Mr. Beast is a good person, just know he's not. Just know he's not. Just know he's not. I know he gives away money, and that's what everyone's just like, oh yeah, he has to make money to give away money. And it's just like, I'm just like, nah, he's not a good person. I've seen the documents where how he treats women, because again, he's white, patriarchal, and I don't, like I said, he's a billionaire or millionaire, but he is at the top of these systems. And once you get to the top of these systems, it's just like, again, you have to sell a little bit of your humanity to be up here. You have to sell a little bit of humanity, because like for the algorithm to keep pushing you out, you have to get more and more extreme, which is the algorithm. I should put the algorithm up here, because the algorithm, in order to be a certain height of influencer, you gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. You gotta play the game. And it's just, boo, down with the game, down with the game. Let everyone, oh, I will be an amazing teacher. Thank you, Jenny. That makes me feel so happy. Internal contentment is key. Yes, Ova East. Internal commitment is key. Contentment is key. You got to be good with who you are on the inside of yourself, because no one can take that from you. Once you're good with what's in here, no one can take that from you. So that is key. All right. I have been on here quite some time, been finished my makeup. Oh, actually, I didn't finish my makeup. I didn't do my mascara on my lips. But this was a very engaging conversation, and I'm glad you guys like my chart. If you like my chart, please donate $5 or more, at the link in my bio. And you can have this on your own. I'm going to do some, I'm going to add shareholders here, because board members and shareholders are more accurate. And then also I'm gonna add a name so that people can, like, it's like, I'm gonna fix it up before I send it out so that people have a better version of this. So yeah, if you like it, please do donate to the link in my bio. I will send you a copy, a PDF, and you can use it however you want. Please do credit me if you can. I would appreciate it. Or, but if you don't want to, hey, that's your business. And I think that is all. If you want to hear my long form explanation of this, you can see it on YouTube at Bri Speaks on YouTube, under my Bri Speaks podcast playlist. And if you are neurodivergent and you want a super duper extra warm, fluffy, cozy hoodie, for the season, we have our free 2 ADHD Diverge from Normal hoodies. That's a little brain right there. I put a little brain in there because ADHDers have cool brains. And then the back has a black and white, a big black and white version of it, for our big brain, and it says Diverge from Normal. And so, free to ADHD, you should be free to do all the things that ADHD allows you to do, which is whatever you want to do. That's the thing. You should follow your heart, and you'll live a happier, better life for it. So you can get that at free2adhd.com. That's FREETO ADHD.com. So free to ADHD, to the word, not the number. And follow me on YouTube and or Spotify at Bri Speaks podcast. And I think that's it for me. Thank you all for coming. It was a pleasure, and I hope you learned something, and I'll see you next time. Bye.